Hey, everybody. Come on in, y'all.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to our channel. My name is Shiniyalove, and this is
Truth Seeker.
And today we are starting our new podcast called More Truth. As you can see, we have the Moor flag in the back of us, and we are Moors. So that's our nationality. We're coming to you with, a lot of truth, a lot of good topics to talk about, stuff about Vegas and what they put us through, and just moving here and what it has caused moving here. So first things first, make sure you subscribe, like this video, comment down below other topics you think we should talk about, and yeah, give it a thumbs up, turn on the post notification bell so you can't miss a video in the future. We're going to be posting probably like twice a week. This is going to be our new thing, so be expecting videos in the future.
And also, too, you go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and it's also Truth Seeker.
Yes. We moved here back in 2013, 2014, and from the beginning, we noticed that it was like a lot of like racism, discrimination against us in schools and stuff, and we thought moving here. What do you want to say something about it?
When we first moved here, my decision was to move here for entertainment, and we came here strictly for entertainment. So I had to, transfer my children to this school system. Coming to find out, this school system is the F ratings, but we'll get to that in another truth cast. Okay, but my daughter here, she had to find out, as we also had to find out as a family, what took place on. We come in here for one thing, is to bring entertainment to Vegas, Las Vegas, and we became entertained. So we became entertained with the evil, the racism, the in-depth, railroad ambush. Totally up on a family. So this is what I'm telling you all: do not come to Vegas, especially with a family, because they have displaced our family, they have ambushed our family, and I know you all heard other videos and all of that. I've been speaking throughout the years what took place, but with my daughter here, what we are on this topic is that she was 10 years old, and they target my daughter. I only took her to go to the pediatrician to get a checkup. And from there, that's when the whole episode of all the evil took place.
And this was at Sunrise Hospital out here in Las Vegas. We've heard a lot of things about, not so much, but we've heard like on TikTok and stuff, other people saying that the hospitals were like evil and don't come to this hospital. And, we haven't talked about it in years, but we do like discuss it here and there. But Sunrise Hospital, they were the ones who started all of it, and I'm just gonna be straight honest with you. They wouldn't have done this to a Caucasian person, because my mom, she took me to the hospital and she was going to go get me a checkup. She followed their orders when they said take me to the emergency room, and they ended up taking me away from her because my mom wanted a second and third opinion. So that shouldn't give you no reason to take your child away. It's either because you want money or because you're being racist.
And that's also children and human trafficking.
So it happens a lot with our people. If you don't believe it, then you just don't have to. But it happens a lot with our people. Our people's children get taken, and it's happened since slavery, but slavery back then, it was way worse. They were just snatching children from the mothers, cutting the baby out of the mother's stomach. But now they're doing it in a more lawful way, but they're still kidnapping children.
And there's nothing lawful about that, because here's the thing: they just only twisted that to do it in a modern day time. So they want you to somewhat be subtle, meaning that part that you agree barely, kinda, meaning that they want you to sign off on what the horrific in other words, a horrific crime that they are committing before you. They kidnap your child, and it's really happening to us the most, because just like you have predominantly our people in the jails and prisons, but you have to realize this, because so much is coming out on everything, and it's happened to us in Vegas, and they making Vegas a big, huge sports event, desert, like desert town, city, state, whatever. But do not bring your children here, because here's what happened with my daughter here. I only asked for a second and third opinion, just like she said, and they went to try to manipulate me. They kept trying to talk me out of it, saying they'll send people in to, have me to believe what they were saying. First they said she had hyperglycemia, then they said hypoglycemia, and I kept saying, wait a minute, I just want to get a second and third opinion, because I had other things to do. I had to go pay bills, I had to go put food in my crib and all that stuff, and I didn't have time to keep wasting time that they could not figure out what they wanted to try to diagnose her with, because that didn't run in our family. See, what they do, they will have you to believe that if it was in your mother's and your generation prior history, they want you to believe now it has been passed down genetically through yours. But watch this. When they took my child, when they first was questioning me or trying to figure out, and I said, well, send her to another hospital. First, they was like, oh, all the beds are full. They was making up all these lies. But then I went on into part to say, I'll drive her myself. Then they said, oh, no, you can't do that. So I asked for AMA, against medical advice. So they came up with another thing like that. So to make a long story short, because you all going to see the videos, you all going to find out more in-depth info about it, they decided to kick me out the hospital because I stayed on it that I'm taking my child, you're not going to hold her, because it had got out of hand at that time, because they kept trying to manipulate me, stall me, and all of that stuff. So they ended up kicking me out of the hospital. Now this was back in 2015, when she was 10 years old, because they wanted me to accept that she has type 1 diabetes. They wanted me to believe my daughter had this illness and disease, and I just wasn't going to accept it. So they then was threatening to call CPS and all that stuff, which they end up doing anyway.
So when they did take me to CPS, I was just like, because I'm 10 years old, and that's traumatizing to be taken away from your family, because I get homesick when I'm away from my family. And even if I'm like with cousins, or if I'm like, alone with different people, I still want to go home. And so as a 10-year-old, you're right. And as a 10-year-old, I was like crying every day, and they were tired of me in CPS. They were tired of me, and when I was scared to ask them to call my mom. I meant to add that when I asked about it at night, they rolled their eyes at me, and then they asked me, why didn't you ask about it in the daytime? So they didn't care about how I felt. So, and my mom said that they, every time she called the hospital before I went to CPS, they would say Domino's Pizza. Mm-hmm. They knew her number, so they were pretending to be someone else, mm-hmm. to not let her know where I was. So basically, they kidnapped me, took me to CPS, and was not going to let my mom know where I was.
Because they called the police on me to escort me out in handcuffs, and they said I could not take my daughter out of the hospital as I leave out the hospital. When they, in other words, they said, I have to leave. I wasn't leaving it without my daughter. So they called the authority, they're in conjunction, ABC boys, imposters, to come and kick me out. So they all work together, as I've been saying in other earlier videos. But due to my child, she was told that her mother, her parents, well, first her dad was still there, to say that they kicked me out and they let him stay. But then some days later, because they knew I was a mama bear. I'm not going to go for nothing you tell me, because I know my child never was diagnosed with anything while she was in my stomach, in my womb, all the way to when she was birthed. And all the way up to when she became 10 years old is when Vegas is a mafia state, just hidden agendas to still come at you. So what they did, they went and falsified information and said, and then they went to forcing her with the disease, because I would not accept it. I would not agree to it, and none of that. And they stated they kicked me out because I would not accept it, but they kicked me out because I asked for a second and third opinion. And they kept my daughter and told me I'll be threatened to go to jail if I don't leave. And the topic is about they don't really care about us. So for all you parents, you have the right, you have the say so over your child, over your children. But I'm going to tell you this, do not take your children to no hospitals. Do not. Make sure you eliminate the problem before it gets started. Because
especially out here in Vegas.
Especially because it's happening everywhere else. But what I'm saying is, especially in Vegas, they don't care. They grab your child and then they wait. Because if you, when they take you, first they want to, they want to talk you into it. They want to manipulate you and talk you into it. And if you agree, then they know they ain't got to do no extra work. But since they couldn't talk me into it and I didn't believe nothing they said, then they forced themselves to keep my daughter and keep me out. But then here's what I'm saying. When it comes down to that you don't let up, you stay on it. In other words, once they sent my daughter to CPS, they didn't want me to know where she was. They kept hanging up the phone. Like my daughter said, they said Domino's Pizza. But you have to realize this, you all. When it comes down to you don't know where your child is, my mind was spinning. I was pissed. I was mad. I was furious. I was calling every cop in the so-called desert. It was like, oh, nobody didn't kidnap me. If I didn't allow you to do that so easily, they know, oh, this is a problem. That's why they had to try to, threaten me with, jail time. So just imagine, because the reason why I kind of at the end, like, okay, because I was tired out, is that her dad was there, which they ended up kicking him out, 3 days later after that. But let me let y'all in on this. You have every right to call the sheriff and stuff, call the higher authority up on the ones who kidnapping your child, because they want to act like, oh, well, we just making sure that the child is okay, the child medically, we want to make sure it's in the best interest of the safety of the child. You have the last say so in your child, because they want to say and make up excuses just to hold your child. They want to force diseases on your baby, and they see what they do, as I found out, they will go and act like your child got a bad heart, a bad liver, a bad organs, or what, just to take the original organs from your child or from you and then replace artificial.
Now let me list some of the things that have happened out here to our family. So in 2017, they put my mom in jail for protesting outside of the school, middle school, where they called my sister a nigger, and she was protesting Stop Teacher Bullying. We were all out there protesting, but they took my mom to jail and
forced me to jail because I'm standing up for our rights.
And then they put her in jail for 3 months.
No bail.
And when she got out, she started hemorrhaging and was losing blood through her private part. Mm-hmm. And she was just drained, like she was just
lifeless.
Draining
I was becoming
blood.
Lifeless.
Yeah, her blood was just draining out of her, and
even if I move 1 little inch, it flows out.
Right, and she was becoming pale. So basically, that's just a sign that she was losing all her blood. She had to be rushed to the hospital and get how many?
I had to get 3 blood transfusions, you all because of, that's the second of they don't really care about us. Mm-hmm. With my daughter, who in question of right now with her child, Keena, with her child, Malachi, they took, because they said an enemy of the state. We are the enemies of the state, and we didn't do anything against them. They are evil criminals. The cops, the imposters, the CPS, the government workers, the government recruiters, they are evil criminals, but they blaming us as though we are the criminals when they came and violated us. But I had to get 3 blood transfusions. I almost died. Mm-hmm. By the grace of the Most High, He saved us. He saved me. He saved my children. But I'm going to let you all know this. This is why we have this, spiritual warfare. When the enemy trying to take you out and kill you, they don't really care about us, but we care about ourselves. I care about myself. I care about my baby that I birth. I care about all my other children that I birth. I care about my grandbabies. You all, if we don't do this now, like I tell you, turn this around now, you are perished, you are doomed, and you are done. Because if you don't do something now, And we already know they don't really care about us. They don't really care about you. They don't really care about me. Only thing they care about is getting from us, draining us, and we ain't nothing but dead corpse. They are attacking our system, what? To complete their system, to keep their system up.
So they took my brother, put him in mental hospitals and jail, and like just constantly over the years. Basically, he hasn't spent his past like 3 birthdays. Well, since 2017, he hasn't spent like one birthday out of the mental hospital. They've always taken him for no reason and put him in there and
Leave him
like
in
just
there
saying he's incompetent. So basically, also, so I got diagnosed with diabetes.
Which they lied.
I broke out in boils because of it, and it was very traumatizing. Like if you just know me, or you just knew what I've been through with these boils, it's like, or I would call them abscesses because that's the medical term for it. But I've been like, it's just painful, like so painful.
And she almost died. My baby right here almost died 5 times. It was time.
More than that.
Oh, okay. Well, I counted 5, but I'm gonna tell you this. And I got video, y'all. Go back and look at all the videos. But I'm gonna tell you this. This is where when they diagnosed her, they was trying to say, oh, we don't know where that's coming from. Or is her blood sugar misbalanced? This and that. You know, they was making up all kind of excuses. Because remember, when she was in my womb and I birthed her and all that, all the way up to 10-year-old, she never had that problem. All my other children never had that problem. Because why? They was never forced with a disease.
And in 2019, I came out to Vegas with my dad, with my sister and my nephew, her baby, and they ended up so like they took my mom to jail in California, and they said that they were looking for us. So basically saying that they're going to kidnap us. And they were telling my mom that, like, where are your kids?
Asking me where my children at now.
Right, and my mom was just like not gonna tell them anything, because why would she tell the kidnappers where her children are?
Thank you.
So they were saying, okay, well, we're going to take away your daughter's insulin so that we can trap her and get her in the hospital.
And
literally,
that's attempted murder.
Right. And so we realized that, me and my dad realized that when when my dad told my brother to go pick up the insulin in California.
They locked him up.
And so they took him to jail. And like right when he told them my name, the pharmacy called the police and they took him to jail.
And let me show you all this. You have it where, that's why I say they in conjunction, because you have Vegas, California, then ended up, it was Minnesota. They all in cahoots together to what? Try to kill off our family, lock us up in jail and prisons and stuff, and also what? To ambush us and target us, a witch hunt. Because here's the thing, we do not give in and give up to when someone is coming at us. Because we didn't sign off and have it where we believe what they said at my child. This is where it all started. I'm sorry, baby. They said my baby had a disease, an autoimmune disease, like they say with everybody with COVID. They don't really care about you. That's how I know when I be telling people, don't you take that COVID test. Don't you take this monkey pox test. Because they gave me chicken pox when I was a child. They gave it to me and said I got it. Yeah, I got it when they gave it to me.
And then so if you're wondering why they're talking about they put my mom in jail and took my brother to jail, they're trying to act like, they try to say it was child neglect. So,
medically child neglect.
Yeah, medical child neglect. So how is that medical child neglect on our part
when they don't want forced the disease?
Also, when you guys were the ones that took my medication away when I needed it, that's taking away life support, really.
Thank you.
So you're really trying to kill me, put me in the hospital, and have me to either go in a coma or die, and that's why these people are phonies. They're kidnappers. They're the devil, and they really just want money. This is what it's about, because if you're trying to protect a child, why do you take their medication away? That doesn't make any type of sense. If you're trying to protect me, you would do what you can to find me, not take away my stuff so I can die. That's not protection. I didn't go to the hospital. It was my sister who went to the hospital, and because she fell out, I guess she wasn't drinking enough water, or maybe something that happened due to her giving birth. But they took me back to California. They took me and they took her child. And they didn't even know the child was born. They didn't even know the child was alive.
But they was looking for her baby.
No, they were looking for me, and they were looking for her as well, but they didn't know he was alive.
Well, they didn't know he had been born.
Yeah. So basically, they took the child for no reason whatsoever. They took Malachi.
And still holding him 3.5 years.
Right. And my sister hasn't seen, well, we personally have not seen him since that time. He was only 3 months old. My mom hasn't seen him since he was 1 month old.
But hold on, I haven't held him since 1 month old. But when I went to accompany my daughter when she had, they put it and twisted for visitation at Donna's house, is that I seen him walking through the door. And then they told me, oh, I can't come there no more to see my child. That was just last year in May, because they was somebody, because they kept lying about that she lost her. They said she lost her parental rights and all of this stuff, which is still, we are waiting for the decision. But I already know it's Brittany. Brittany, we coming for you. You going to prison. LaShondra, you going to prison. Everybody who had you to take the fall going to prison. If you do not go to prison, they don't put you in prison if they ain't did it in 3 years, because you all jumped my daughter. And the fact is, the vengeance is yours. Everything that you have done upon me and my family and all the other families, the babies, the children and all that, you all is getting ready, and you have already reaped what's worse.
And back in 2019, I was sent to foster care in around like March, around my birthday time. So I left foster care. Like I went back to my mom. Like I wasn't going to stay there. I wasn't going to stay there just to have them yell at me, control me, or have me traumatized because I'm not around my family.
And tell me this, why did you leave?
Because I didn't want to be around people I didn't know, just complete strangers.
Do they have every right to grab you?
No, not at all.
So lawfully, you did not have no rights to touch my children. You never proved it. You never had no evidence. You never presented it. It was never no judge court order. I mean, official state judge court order. Let's get that right.
And then you sent me, and then they sent me to people who didn't have not 1 day of training. So basically an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of training.
And that's you, Jessica. And what is the other one name?
Malia.
We haven't forgot about you.
And Nita.
Both are and Nita. But Jessica and Leah are the lesbians. See, they take your children from the natural parents and then sell them off to gays, lesbians, and all that. Because already they against the creator, who say it's supposed to be man and woman to produce children, not male, female. See, this so-called government, these workers, the corporations, they have their system fixed that they go against the innocent, they go against the natural, and they go against your morals.
And there's nothing wrong with you being lesbian or gay. It's just don't take me and put me in that environment so I can become that, because I'm not that. That's what they try to do, is make it seem like I liked a girl, or that I was liking females over there, because it's like when they're that way, they try to make me that way, or they try to turn me out. But I'm not against all that. It's just don't put me in that environment, or don't take me away from my family, especially, and put me over there.
And they told my daughter, what was the one told you that? Said, it's okay if you like girls.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. I want to meet you face to face, because you don't tell my daughter, you don't kidnap and snatch my child and say it's okay for her to like another female. In other words, you done already took her away from her family. Now you're trying to impression her with things of your world, which is not going to be, because she's not of that. See, this is what they're doing. They taking and kidnapping and snatching your children and turning them out on the way they want to. But see, the devil is a liar. The devil and his workers going to have to be what? Terminated, dismantled, abolished, and destroyed. Because enough is enough. The thing is, they don't really care about us, and they ain't got no reason touching us, touching ours, and what belong to us. But you people, I'm telling you, you're going to have to stand up, you parents who care. If you care about your child, if you care about yourself, the change is now to make the difference. Because if you don't, then your children are going to grow up and hate. Why did they have to go through what you could have avoided them from going through? Because once we know, we have to do something about it. Once we know, we have to make that change. Once we know, we hold them accountable, hold them liable, because all of that is criminal. You don't force no one to do anything. You don't force no one against their rights, or force no one against force no one against themselves, because no one is forcing you in your corporations. Because if that's what you want, the children to be turned out and all that stuff. And my daughter just said, there ain't nothing wrong with being lesbian, gay. To me, it is. Because that's not the right way to live. But if that's what you want to do and you choose to do it, that's your right to choose what you want to do. But you're not going to go and take me and my child and children and then force them to do something they don't want to do.
When I say it's nothing wrong with being gay or lesbian, I say it because I don't really care what you do with your life, because it's not going to affect me unless you put me in that environment or you take me away from my family and do that.
Then we're going to disrupt everything.
Right. So,
so leave us alone.
Continuing about what happened here, our family has just been taken out of our homes.
Took everything.
Everything. Our vehicles, our house.
They try to take our life. And like I said, they still holding Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not over. Because that's showing you all. Let me serve y'all warning right now. It's showing you all that y'all only exposing yourself even more 3.5 years later. Because again, then they use these coons like LaShondra Sherman. They use these people like that to try to they use them to take the fall. Mm-hmm. Our own kind of color people, but they not my kind, because they of evil. See, evil people use evil people to go against the good people. But the good people gonna have to all of y'all together stand tall, and all of y'all together low fall. You finna fall. You already done.
It don't make no sense to be the same people. I believe Chinese people and all these other people, they stick together. They go by their own rules, and they look at us different when we come out there to their countries, and they talk about us in their language, and they still go and buy their own phones. They buy their own everything. They support each other. They don't go against their people.
And the reason why they don't go against each other, because they go together, be together in order to go against us, who go against each other.
Right. And I'm not saying that every single one of them go for each other, but they still are if it was Americans over Chinese, then they would pick their own people.
But did you know, baby? Did you know that they all Asians, Chinese, everybody that is not of a Moor, not of us, that they group up together to go against us because they feel we all are separated and not strong together, united?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna tell you all, and share this again. What is your other sites they can go to?
My Instagram at Shiniyalove_17, and my main YouTube is Shiniyalove with a red heart. Go subscribe and follow me on Instagram.
But also to me as Truth Seeker on YouTube. Subscribe, share, and comment, because that is very important. That is very informative. And also, we're going to be bringing you entertainment. We're going to be bringing you truth, influence, uplifting, and inspiration. Mm-hmm. We have more to come. You all stay tuned. We love you all. Love yourselves and each other. But the thing is, we who care has to make the change and do different now, because they don't really care about us. They are the ones, meaning that the ones who worketh evil. I love everybody. We love everybody. Mm-hmm. But we don't love no evil. The ones who choose to work evil, wicked, and corrupt, those are the ones I consider they. Okay? Because everybody is a mixture of something by now. But for the ones who are evil and wicked and corrupt, you are considered the they spirits. Every time I say they, that's who I'm speaking of. The evil, wicked, and corrupt. That I'm coming for you. I'm exposing you. You will vanish, be terminated.
And I just want to say one more thing. Sherman and Lysandra, you guys are working for the people who don't care about you. You're working for the people who did the same things to you years ago. And you had to go through the same process of getting your child back because they kidnapped him or they snatched him. And you're working for them.
And
They're not paying you. They're not giving you no type of food, no
well, they could be.
chump change. They're not giving you anything. But you're working for the people. Or if they are giving you chump change, that's not getting you anywhere.
Is that worth it?
It's not.
Because, see, you even told my daughter, LaShondra, that she let me know. You told my daughter, because you're not in the best interest of a baby of Malachi. You told my daughter that you know about how CPS work. You know how they operate. Then you admitted it in the hearing that they act like it was a trial without a jury. We was warning you for 3 years that, see, what they did was they told my daughter, Keena, that she can go over and get her child because she was in the hospital. She had to get healed because she had just fainted. And they told her where her baby was because she said, where my baby at? And they said CPS. And then they called Sherman to get the baby from them because they had already tried to adopt the baby out to 2 lesbians. But here's what it is. What they did was they told Sherman in, because my daughter says Sherman is the dad. From there, they went and Sherman in went and picked the baby up. LaShondra says she didn't know nothing about that he was born and he existed. But to make a long story short, they went and picked him up. But then when my daughter was released from the hospital a couple of days after that, she said, where my baby at? They said, oh, he's over there with the dad, she told who it was. Well, he's a portraying dad because he never took a blood test. It's on with that too. So here's the thing. She then went over there, and you have 3 adults, which Sherman grandmother, and Sherman's sister. Now, my daughter Keena was 16 at that time. She was a young teen, just had birthed a child, and her baby was taken, snatched, kidnapped from her, and she was breastfeeding. So imagine Malachi. Imagine a baby just breastfeeding from his mother, bonding with his mother, and he just come and just be snatched. And for 3 years, he held away from his mother. Y'all think about that. Because, again, they don't really care about us. Because, see, LaShondra and them took the fall. And when it was that hearing, because they act like it was a trial for saying custody.
And even me, my dad, and my and mom went in there to testify about it. And it's like we have so much evidence that like just pinpoints everything that went on for the past few years, and that we have evidence to show that he slapped the baby, and that they beat my sister up because she because she was leaving with her child, and that we took care of the child. We brought pictures. We got all that. We have pictures of us holding Malachi, hugging him laughing, all of that.
But I know it's you, Brittany. Brittany, you behind that. We coming for you, Brittany. You finna go to prison like I told you because you the secretary of the so-called magistrate judge. And if Stacy Rocheleau, if you are involved and you made a decision, did not make a decision or what, any decision you made, we want the proof. If you said no, she can't get her baby back, we want that. If you say yes, she can get her baby back, we want that and Malachi. But I'm telling you now, all of y'all are in trouble. But I really believe Stacy made the decision, and Brittany, the secretary, is holding everything from my daughter like she did in the past, and we coming for you. We not done, because see, when you of the truth, when you of the righteous standing, you don't have to run. You be still, but you go forward and making sure that you keep the heat up under their feet of the devil's feet, because they got to come up out those positions. Do you know when they did this to us, how many more families that when the in-depth investigation take place, you finna find out they kept doing this even after 3 years, even before 3 years. They've been doing this for centuries, you all. For years, they've just been passed down on how to keep taking our children away from us, causing us trauma, causing us misery, causing us suffering, pain, damages, all of this stuff. We done. Malachi, you will be back with your family, baby, your loving family. This baby was nothing but what, 2 months, 3 months old? Now he's 3.5 years old. We're not finished, because we speaking for Malachi. We standing for Malachi and all the babies and children all over the world. So you all share this. You all comment. If you know anybody that's going through this or went through this, or anybody to prevent from going through this, share this video, because we ain't got no reason to lie. This is why I post the truth. This is called the Truth Cast, because we casting your truth out into the world, to the globe, into the universe. See, it had to go through us for us not to be quiet, but the devil tried to take all of us out. The devil tried to make us just don't even care about life no more. But baby, we still here. Let me show you something. We still here. Oh, my daughter ain't got nothing to say, but I'm going to finish it up. But I'm going to tell y'all this. Tune in, stay tuned. All the other stuff is coming soon. I'm letting you all know this. Whatever going on, question everything. Stand firm on the truth. Because can't nobody tell you about yourself. Can't nobody tell you about your family and your children. But see, I'm going to tell y'all this. If you let somebody tell you about you, then right there, you done already gave them permission to do whatever they want to do. Mm-hmm. So do not allow the devil to enter, because they don't really care about us. Care about yourself.
Make sure you subscribe, like, comment down below topics to talk about and your opinion as well about this video. Turn on the post notifications so you won't miss a future video.
Before you go, this is the Moors, the great Moors. Mm-hmm. Know who you are. When you claim who you are, know who you are, no one else can lead you wrong. Y'all have a good one. We love you.